Ma'am, I need you to step away from the vehicle. Keep your hands visible. Do not move.
Don't give them a reason. The night smelled of hot asphalt and gasoline. Somewhere nearby, a siren wailed and then cut off, sharp as a blade snapping shut. A white patrol car rolled to a stop behind her. Doors opened. Heavy footsteps approached. License and registration. The voice came before the man did. Flat. Bored. Dangerous. Maya rolled down the window inch by inch. The air shifted immediately. Colder, tighter. Flashlight beams sliced across her face, her hands, the passenger seat where nothing sat. She felt herself shrinking inside her own skin, every movement suddenly loud, every breath suspicious. I wasn't speeding, she said, keeping her voice even. The officer leaned closer, eyes narrowing as if her calm offended him. His partner circled the car, boots crunching gravel, fingers brushing his belt like a habit he enjoyed too much. You arguing already? The first cop asked. Step out of the vehicle. Her stomach dropped. This was how it started. Always small. Always polite until it wasn't. I haven't done anything, Maya said. The officer's smile flickered, quick, mean. That attitude, he said softly, is exactly why you people get hurt. The words hit harder than a shove. Heat rushed into her ears. Her hands trembled despite herself. She opened the door. Cold night air swallowed her whole. The second officer grabbed her arm too tight, too fast. Pain shot up her shoulder. Somewhere nearby, a phone camera clicked on. Someone whispered. Maya's heart hammered as the cuffs came out. And then she saw it. One officer subtly angling his body, blocking the dashcam's view. That was the moment she understood. This wasn't a stop. It was a setup. The lights appeared without warning. Maya Thompson noticed them before she heard the siren. Red and blue flickering across the dashboard, painting her hands in color like evidence already tagged. He checked her speed. 42. The limit was 45. Her chest tightened anyway. She signaled and pulled over. The car idled. Night pressed in from all sides. Maya placed her hands on the wheel, fingers spread, exactly the way every video, every warning, every family conversation had taught her. Her heartbeat thudded loud enough to feel reckless. The patrol car stopped behind her. Doors opened. 2 sets of footsteps. License and registration. She rolled the window down slowly. The officer's flashlight cut across her face, lingered, then dipped to her hands. In the glove compartment, she said. May I reach for it? The officer stared at her a second too long. Just do it. She did. Carefully. The flashlight followed every inch of movement like a threat. His partner circled the car, peering inside as if expecting something to leap out. Maya felt exposed, dissected. Where you coming from? The first officer asked. Work. What kind of work? She answered. His mouth tightened, unimpressed. Step out of the vehicle. Her stomach dropped. Am I being detained? The partner laughed quietly. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Maya opened the door. Cold air rushed in. Gravel crunched under her shoes. The first officer moved closer, invading her space. His presence heavy and deliberate. Hands behind your back. For what reason? Her voice shook despite her effort. The officer's grip clamped onto her arm. Pain flared sharp and sudden. Stop resisting. I'm not resisting. The words barely left her mouth before her wrist was twisted higher. She gasped. Someone across the street raised a phone. Another voice murmured, "Oh my God." The officer shoved her toward the car. Her cheek brushed metal. The night smelled like oil and fear. "Relax," he said, breath close to her ear. "You people always make a scene." Something inside Maya hardened. She caught a glimpse of the dashcam, then watched as the partner stepped sideways, blocking it with his body. That was when she knew. This wasn't about a traffic violation. It was about control. Cold steel snapped around her wrists. The siren clicked off. And the story, she realized, had already been written, just not by her. Chapter 2. Official language. Almost equals 950 words. The holding room smelled like bleach and old coffee. Maya sat on a metal bench bolted to the floor, wrists still aching where the cuffs had been. The room hummed faintly, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead with a tired persistence. Somewhere beyond the door, phones rang. Laughter drifted down the hall. Casual, unbothered. A young officer slid a clipboard through the slot in the door without looking at her. "Sign," he said. "For what?" Maya asked. He sighed like she'd asked for something unreasonable. "Statement acknowledging arrest. I haven't been told what I'm charged with." He paused, then smirked. "Disorderly conduct. Resisting an officer." Her chest tightened. "That's not what happened." He shrugged. "That's what's written." The door clanged shut before she could say more. Minutes stretched. Or hours. Time behaved strangely in places like this. Thick, uncooperative. Maya replayed the stop in her head, searching for the moment she'd misstepped. There wasn't one. She knew that. Still, doubt crept in like a toxin. A man in a wrinkled suit finally appeared, a badge clipped to his belt. Public defender. His eyes were kind, tired. "I'm Eric," he said, sitting across from her. "I'll be honest. These cases are uphill." "They lied," Maya said immediately. "They put their hands on me first." He nodded slowly. "I believe you." The word felt fragile. She held on to it anyway. "They're saying you refused commands," he continued. "That you became aggressive." Maya laughed once, sharp and humorless. "I asked why I was being detained." Eric didn't laugh. "To them that counts." He slid a copy of the police report across the table. Maya read it once, then again. Each sentence felt like a small erasure. Subject displayed hostile demeanor. Subject failed to comply. Minimal force applied. "That's not what the video will show," Maya said. Eric hesitated. "There's dashcam footage. But it's incomplete." Her pulse spiked. "Incomplete how?" "Angle obstruction. Audio cuts out at key moments." Maya closed her eyes. She saw it again. One officer stepping just enough to block the lens. Visual. Practiced. "They did that on purpose," she said. Eric didn't disagree. He leaned back, lowering his voice. "The prosecutor may offer a deal. Plead to a misdemeanor, time served, small fine. Clean exit. And if I don't?" He met her gaze. "Then this could take months. Maybe years. And it won't be easy." Maya thought of her job. Her rent. Her mother, who would try not to panic when she got the call. "I didn't do anything wrong," she said quietly. Eric nodded again. "I know. I just need you to understand the system doesn't reward innocence. It rewards cooperation." The door opened suddenly. A woman with perfect hair and a polished smile stepped in. Heels clicking with purpose. "Miss Thompson," she said brightly. "I'm Assistant District Attorney Keller." Maya straightened. Eric stiffened. "We just want to resolve this efficiently," Keller continued. "You had a stressful night. The officers had a stressful night. No need to make it bigger than it is." Maya's jaw clenched. "They hurt me." Keller's smile didn't move. "According to the report, you resisted. That report is false." Keller tilted her head, considering. Even if there were misunderstandings, trials are messy. Public. Personal. Maya felt the implication land. People like you don't come out clean. "What happens if I say no?" Maya asked. Keller's eyes hardened just slightly. "Then we proceed. And everything becomes a matter of record." She left as smoothly as she'd entered. Eric exhaled slowly. That was the soft version. Maya stared at the report again. Official language. Neutral words that carried violence quietly, efficiently. Later, after release, the night air felt unreal. Her phone buzzed non-stop. Missed calls, messages, headlines. Woman arrested after traffic stop turns confrontational. The photo showed her in cuffs. No context. No beginning. At home, she watched the clip circulating online. Shaky footage. No sound at first. Then her voice, raised, frightened. Comments scrolled faster than she could read. Should have complied. Looks guilty to me. Why is she yelling? Maya dropped the phone. She sat on the floor until dawn crept in through the blinds, light catching the bruises on her arms. Somewhere paperwork was already moving. Words were hardening into facts. And the truth, whole, unedited, was nowhere in sight. Chapter 3. The video. Almost equals 900 words. The video didn't start at the beginning. Maya noticed that first. Not the way strangers dissected her face or the way comments stacked like bricks meant to bury her, but the absence. The clip opened with her already out of the car, already surrounded, already loud enough to be labeled aggressive. She sat at her kitchen table, laptop open, coffee untouched, watching herself from an angle she didn't recognize. Her voice came through thin and distorted. I didn't do anything wrong. The officer's reply was barely audible, swallowed by wind and traffic. Camera shook. Someone behind the lens whispered, "Damn." That was it. 32 seconds. No lead-up. No hands grabbing her arm. No order she supposedly ignored. 32 seconds was all the internet needed. By noon, the clip had crossed platforms. By evening, it had a headline. Traffic stop escalates after driver refuses commands. Maya closed the browser. Opened it again. She couldn't stop. Every refresh felt like checking a wound. Her phone buzzed. Text from her supervisor. Char wants to talk tomorrow. Just routine. Routine. The word felt poisonous. Another message. From a college friend she hadn't spoken to in years. Saw the video. Hope you're okay. Then one from an unknown number. Learn how to listen next time. Maya turned the phone face down. She showered, letting hot water sting the bruises blooming along her arms. The mirror fogged, and for a moment she didn't have to see herself the way the internet did. Paused mid-expression, mouth open, eyes wide, framed as a threat. When she stepped out, wrapped in a towel, her doorbell rang. She froze. Another ring. Longer this time. Through the peephole, she saw a woman in jeans and a blazer, phone in hand, expression sharp with intent. Maya Thompson, the woman called. I'm Renee Carter. Maya opened the door a crack. I'm a civil rights attorney, Renee said. I saw the footage. Maya hesitated. Which part? Renee's mouth tightened. Exactly. They sat across from each other at the same table where the video still glowed on the screen. It's incomplete, Renee said. Strategically incomplete. They blocked the camera, Maya replied. On purpose. Renee nodded. I've seen this pattern. She pulled out a tablet and swiped. Another video appeared. Different city. Different woman. Same language. Same phrasing in the police report. Subject became uncooperative. Minimal force applied. They recycle the words, Renee said. Because the words protect them. Maya felt something shift. Fear mixing with anger, forming something sharper. Can you help me? She asked. Renee met her gaze. If you're ready for this to get bigger. Bigger meant louder. Say, public. Maya glanced back at the comments scrolling endlessly beneath her face. They already made it big, she said. That night, a longer clip surfaced. Someone had stitched together multiple recordings. Different angles, clearer audio. It showed the moment the officer grabbed her arm. The command that came after the grab, not before. Her flinch. Her gasp. The internet pivoted, fast and violent. New footage raises questions in traffic stop arrest. Support poured in. So did rage. Two sides shouting past each other. Neither listening. Maya's employer called the next morning. We're placing you on temporary leave, HR said carefully. Just until things settle. How long is that? Maya asked. We'll reassess. When the call ended, Maya sat in silence. Justice moved slowly. Consequences didn't. Late that night, she received an email from Renee. We found something else. Dashcam metadata doesn't match the report. They edited more than video. Maya's heart pounded. What does that mean? She typed back. It means someone made a mistake, Renee replied. Or they thought no one would look. Outside, a siren wailed and faded. Maya stared at the dark window, her reflection faint but steady. The story was changing. And somewhere, the people who'd written the first version were realizing it might not hold. Renee didn't bring coffee when she came back the next morning. She brought files. They spread across Maya's dining table like a second arrest. Thick folders, printed transcripts, screenshots annotated in red. Names blacked out. Dates circled. Language underlined so heavily the paper creased. This isn't just about you, Renee said. Maya already knew that, but hearing it said aloud landed differently. Heavier. Renee tapped the first folder. Officer Daniel Reeves. 8 years on the force. 12 complaints. 12. Maya repeated. Officially. Renee slid another file forward. Unofficially more. Most dismissed. Some settled quietly. Maya scanned the pages. Different faces. Different ages. Same outcome. No wrongdoing found. They all look like me, Maya said. Renee didn't soften it. Yes. The room felt smaller. The hum of the refrigerator sounded too loud. Maya thought of the way Reeves's hand had closed around her arm. Confident, unafraid. Why is he still on the street? Maya asked. Because the system is designed to absorb incidents like yours, Renee said. It treats them as anomalies. Individual misunderstandings. Never patterns. She pulled up a map on her tablet. Red dots clustered in familiar neighborhoods. These stops, Renee continued, increase at night. Increase near certain zip codes. Increase when officers know cameras are less likely to be rolling. Maya swallowed. They knew. They always do. Later that afternoon, Renee brought Maya to her office. The walls were lined with framed articles, photos from marches, yellowing headlines that told the same story over and over with different names. A junior associate knocked and stepped in, pale and tense. We got a response from the department, he said. They're refusing to release additional footage without a court order. Renee exhaled through her nose. Of course they are. They're also saying the officers followed protocol. Maya laughed short and sharp. Protocol for what? Renee looked at her. Control. News vans appeared outside the building by evening. Microphones. Questions shouted too fast. Maya, do you feel safer now that charges are pending? Do you regret escalating the situation? She didn't answer. Renee guided her through a side exit, hand firm on her back. At home, Maya found her mother sitting on the couch, purse clutched in her lap. You didn't tell me it was this bad, her mother said. Maya sat beside her. I didn't want you to worry. Her mother's eyes shone. I've been worrying since the day you were born. They watched the news together. Split-screen debates. Experts arguing tone instead of facts. One panelist said, if she had just complied. Maya's mother turned the TV off. That night Renee called. We filed a motion, she said. And Maya, someone inside reached out. Inside where? The department. Maya's pulse jumped. Why? Because patterns don't just trap victims, Renee said. They trap witnesses. The next day, they met in a quiet cafe far from downtown. A man in plain clothes sat rigidly at the corner table, eyes darting. I can't stay long, he said. They'll know. What do you know? Renee asked gently. The man swallowed. Reeves edits reports. Not alone. It's understood. Maya leaned forward. Understood by who? He looked away. By supervisors. The words settled like dust. Freeware. You have proof? Renee asked. The man nodded once. Not here. When he left, Maya stared at the empty chair. They protect each other, she said. Yes, Renee replied. But that protection creates pressure. And pressure creates cracks. That evening Maya opened her laptop again, not to read comments but to write. She documented everything. Words, feelings. Not for the internet. For herself. Outside, protesters gathered. Candles flickered. Someone held a sign with her name spelled wrong. Maya watched from her window, heart heavy but steady. For the first time since the stop, she understood the shape of the fight. It wasn't one night. It was a system repeating itself, until someone forced it to stop. The pressure arrived quietly at first. It came in the form of emails labeled Concerned Citizen, voicemails that hung up before the message finished recording, a white envelope slipped under Maya's door with no return address. Inside was a single printed screenshot of her arrest photo, circled in red ink. She didn't tell her mother about that one. Renee did. "This is escalation," Renee said over the phone. "It's not random." Maya sat on her bed, laptop open, notes from her own timeline glowing on the screen. "They're trying to make me small again." "Yes," Renee replied. "And tired." At the courthouse, the mood had shifted. Cameras multiplied. Protesters argued across barricades. Police cruisers idled longer than necessary, engines humming like a warning. Inside, the prosecutor's office requested a meeting. "Off the record," Adia Keller said, folding her hands neatly. "We'd like to resolve this." Maya felt Renee stiffen beside her. "We're listening," Renee said. Keller slid a paper across the table. "Plead to disorderly conduct. No jail time. Record sealed after probation." Maya stared at the words. Disorderly. As if the problem had been her existence, not their hands. "I didn't do it," Maya said. Keller's smile thinned. "Trials are unpredictable. Jurors bring bias. Social media attention fades. Records don't. So this is a threat," Maya said. "It's reality," Keller replied. "Take the deal and move on." Move on. As if bruises faded on command. As if silence were neutral. Outside, Renee stopped walking and turned to her. "They're worried." Maya looked back at the building. "About what?" "About exposure." That night, the police union held a press conference. The union president spoke solemnly about officer safety, about split-second decisions, about the danger of questioning authority. Behind him, Reeves stood stone-faced, arms crossed. Maya watched the broadcast with her mother. "That's him," her mother whispered. "Yes," Maya said. "And he's not afraid." Online, the narrative swung again. Support the police. This woman wants attention. Why didn't she just take the deal? Her job called the next morning. "We're letting you go," HR said gently. "This situation has become a distraction." Maya closed her eyes. "So I'm punished for being arrested?" "No," the voice replied quickly. "It's about optics." Optics. Another clean word that cut. When the call ended, Maya sat in silence. Her mother reached for her hand. "You did nothing wrong," she said. Maya nodded. She believed it. But belief didn't pay rent. Renee called an emergency meeting that afternoon. "We're filing a civil suit," she said. "And we're subpoenaing internal communications." "That'll make them angry," Maya said. Renee didn't flinch. "They already are." That evening, a junior officer left a message on Renee's secure line. His voice shook. "They're closing ranks," he said. "Supervisors are reminding us who signs evaluations." "Do you have anything concrete?" Renee asked. Yes. And I'm scared." Maya listened to the recording later, heart pounding. "People think courage looks loud," Renee said. "Most of the time it's whispered." Protesters returned to the streets. So did counter-protesters. Police lines grew thicker. Tension coiled. At home, Maya packed away her work clothes. She didn't know when she'd need them again. That night, she dreamed of flashing lights that never turned off. When she woke, her phone buzzed with a message from Renee. "We found the missing footage." Maya sat up so fast the room spun. It was stored under a different case number. Renee continued. "Someone tried to bury it." Maya's hands shook as she typed back. "Does it show everything?" "Shows enough." Outside, dawn broke pale and uncertain. Maya stood at the window, watching the city wake. The pressure was still there, heavy, relentless. But now so was something else. The truth. Chapter 6. Cracks. Almost equals 1,050 words. The footage arrived at 3:17 a.m. Maya didn't watch it right away. She sat on the edge of her bed, phone in her hand, the file unopened, heart hammering as if the night itself were holding its breath. Outside, the city was quiet in the way that meant something had already happened. When she finally pressed play, the room seemed to shrink. The video began before the stop, before the lights, before the command. It showed her car driving steady, lawful. Then the patrol car falling in behind her, lingering longer than necessary. The officer's voice came through clearly this time, joking with his partner. "Watch this." The stop unfolded again, but differently now. The grab came first. The order came after. The angle shift was deliberate, the body block practiced. Audio cut for exactly 11 seconds, then resumed. Maya's breath stuttered. She paused the video, rewound, watched again. "This is it," she whispered. Renee called minutes later, already awake. "We're verifying metadata, timestamps, storage paths." "They lied," Maya said. "They planned it." "Yes," Renee replied. "And planning leaves fingerprints." By morning the cracks spread. A digital forensics expert confirmed the file had been mislabeled and archived under an unrelated incident. An internal email surfaced, brief, vague, damning, about keeping footage streamlined. Another showed a supervisor approving report edits after the fact. At the courthouse, the prosecutor's tone changed. D.A. Keller requested a delay. "New evidence requires review." Renee smiled without warmth. "Of course it does." In the hallway, a junior officer avoided Maya's eyes. Another nodded once, quick and nervous. "They know," Maya said. "They're choosing sides," Renee answered. News outlets broke the story cautiously at first. "New footage complicates traffic stop case." Then less cautiously. "Edited reports. Missing video raise questions about police conduct." The union released a statement calling the footage misleading. Reeves didn't appear at the next press conference. Maya's phone rang constantly. Support messages, interview requests, threats that tried to sound like advice. "Drop it while you can. You're ruining lives." She deleted them all. At night, sleep fractured into short, shallow pieces. She woke to imagined footsteps, to the echo of cuffs snapping shut. Her mother sat with her through one long dawn, rubbing her back in slow, steady circles. "You don't have to be brave today," her mother said. "I know," Maya replied. "But I am." Renee filed an emergency motion. The judge ordered full disclosure. That was when the junior officer came forward. His name was Thomas. He sat across from Maya and Renee in a quiet conference room, hands clasped so tightly his knuckles were white. "I wrote one of the reports," he said. "Not yours. Another one. Same officers." Maya felt a chill. "What happened?" "I wrote what I saw," Thomas said. "Then my sergeant told me to rewrite it." Renee leaned forward. "Did you?" He swallowed. "Yes." Silence pressed in. "Why are you here now?" Maya asked gently. Thomas looked at her, eyes wet. "Because I saw the video. And because I can't keep pretending I don't know what it does to people." He slid a flash drive across the table. "These are originals. Draft. Emails." Renee's breath caught. "This changes everything." Thomas stood quickly. "I can't stay. They'll figure it out." After he left, Maya sat very still. "They taught him how," she said. "How to erase." "Yes," Renee replied. "But they didn't teach him how to live with it." The next hearing was packed. The judge watched the footage in silence. When it ended, she removed her glasses. "Counsel," she said to the prosecution, "explain the discrepancies." Keller stood jaw tight. "We need time." "You've had time," the judge replied. "What you appear to lack is candor." Gasps rippled through the courtroom. Outside, cameras waited. Protesters chanted Maya's name, this time spelled right. When Reeves finally appeared, escorted by union reps, he didn't look at her. He stared straight ahead, face fixed, as if denial could still hold. Maya felt something loosen in her chest. Not relief, not victory, but space. Room to breathe. The system hadn't broken, but it was bending. And in the bend, the truth was forcing itself through. The full video dropped on a Tuesday morning. It didn't leak quietly. Detonated. By noon, every major outlet had it. Unedited, time-stamped, impossible to explain away. The grab. The command that came too late. The officer's casual laugh before the stop. The body blocking the dashcam. The audio cut. The lie clean and clear. Maya watched it once. Then she closed her laptop. She didn't need to see it again. Outside, the city responded like a shaken hive. Protesters flooded downtown, not just chanting but organizing. Lawyers handing out numbers, medics setting up stations, elders leading prayer circles. The tone had changed. This wasn't outrage chasing a rumor. This was anger grounded in proof. The police department released a statement within hours. We take these allegations seriously. By evening, the chief appeared on camera. Officer Reeves has been placed on administrative leave, he said, eyes fixed on the teleprompter. An internal investigation is underway. Administrative leave. The phrase sparked fresh fury. Renee didn't celebrate. This is containment, she told Maya. Not accountability. At the courthouse, the prosecutor moved to dismiss the criminal charges. Based on new evidence, Keller said stiffly, the state will not proceed. The gavel fell. Maya exhaled slowly. Her hand shook anyway. Outside, microphones surged toward her. How does it feel to be free? Someone asked. Maya looked at them. I was always free. I was just treated like I wasn't. That clip went everywhere. The civil case moved faster now. Subpoenas flew. Depositions cracked. Supervisors contradicted each other. Emails once buried surfaced with timestamps too neat to ignore. Reeves testified. He denied intent. Blamed stress. Claimed confusion. Renee played the video again, frame by frame. Is this confusion? She asked, pausing on the moment he blocked the camera. Reeves said nothing. The junior officer's documents sealed it. Patterns became charts. Words became evidence. The department suspended 3 supervisors. The union's tone shifted from defiant to defensive. Sponsors pulled funding. Politicians issued carefully worded statements about restoring trust. At home, Maya sat with her mother, watching the news without sound. They're saying your name right, her mother said. Maya smiled faintly. That's new. One night, Renee came by with a bottle of cheap wine. They offered a settlement, she said. Substantial. Maya considered it. And the officers. Reeves will be fired, Renee said. Others disciplined. Criminal referrals are possible. Possible wasn't certain, but it was something. Maya thought of the plea deal they'd offered her. Quick, quiet, convenient. No, she said finally. I want the trial. Renee studied her. It will cost you. I know. The trial was exhausting. Brutal. Necessary. Maya testified. She spoke slowly, clearly, refusing to perform pain for anyone. When the defense tried to frame her tone as aggression, the judge shut it down. The verdict came late on a Friday. Liability. Misconduct. Damages awarded. Reeves was terminated the following week. An investigation expanded beyond him. Outside the courthouse, Maya stood alone for a moment, away from cameras. She felt no triumph. Only weight, lifted in some places, settled in others. Justice hadn't healed her, but it had listened. And for the first time since the lights bloomed in her rearview mirror, Maya felt the story loosen its grip. The city moved on faster than Maya did. Within weeks, new headlines replaced her name. Another incident. Another video. Another debate that followed the same tired arc. The protest signs came down. The barricades disappeared. Normal returned like a coat pulled over a wound. For Maya, nothing felt normal. She woke some mornings with her heart already racing, the echo of commands ringing in her ears. Hands where I can see them. She avoided driving at night. When she did get behind the wheel, her shoulders stayed tight, every passing cruiser a reminder that safety was conditional. The department announced reforms. New training. New oversight language. The words sounded familiar, carefully shaped, intentionally vague. Reeves's name faded from the news, but not from Maya's memory. She learned he'd taken a consulting job in another state, far from patrol cars and dashcams. Accountability, she realized, had borders. The settlement money arrived quietly. Numbers on a screen. Enough to breathe again. Enough to start over. Didn't feel like winning. Maya enrolled in trauma counseling at Renee's urging. In the first session, she sat stiffly, hands folded, unsure how to translate experience into language. "I don't know who I am after this," she said finally. The therapist nodded. "That's not uncommon. What if I never feel safe again?" The therapist didn't rush to answer. "Safety isn't the absence of fear," she said. "It's learning how to live with it without letting it define you." Some days were better. Others weren't. Maya found work with a non-profit focused on police accountability. Quiet research, long hours, fewer cameras. It helped to be useful. To turn memory into structure. Pain into purpose. At community meetings, people recognized her. Some thanked her. Others asked why she hadn't just taken the deal. She answered honestly. "Because silence would have cost me more." One evening, months later, Maya drove past the stretch of road where it had happened. She hadn't planned to. Her hands tightened on the wheel anyway. She pulled over. The street looked smaller than she remembered. Ordinary. No marker. No plaque. Just asphalt and a flickering streetlight. Maya stepped out of the car and breathed in the night air. Smelled like rain and distant traffic. Nothing dramatic happened. And somehow that mattered. Her phone buzzed. A message from Renee. The oversight bill passed committee. Small step. Real one. Maya smiled. Later at home, she opened the notebook she'd started during the case. The last page was blank. She wrote slowly. "They tried to turn me into a footnote. Instead, I became a record." She closed the notebook and set it on the shelf, not hidden, not displayed, just there. The story hadn't ended cleanly. It hadn't erased what happened or fixed the system that allowed it. But it had changed something. In the way officers hesitated a second longer. In the way footage was checked twice. In the way one woman refused to disappear quietly. Maya turned off the light and lay in the dark, breathing steadily. The past still lived with her. But it no longer owned her. And that, she decided, was its own kind of justice.